Hi, I'm Tim Linsdau. I'm a film producer and a Christian. But today I want to talk about how to be adaptable and a person of action. And that example would be Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. And it's timely, I suppose, in a new movie that's out. But this man, I think, was an amazing person. I don't think he was recognized by the average public as how important he was and how special of a person he was. For one thing, he was an Eagle Scout. And to some of you who have been around Boy Scouts, and maybe some of you who haven't, understand that being an Eagle Scout has a level of prestige to it, a level of honor. But I can recognize that. I've been around the Boy Scouts for 50 years. And even though I didn't make Eagle Scout, I understand the effort it takes to be that. My one son is an Eagle Scout. It takes a lot of endurance, a lot of discipline. The basic first ranks, which are now Scout, Tenderfoot, Second Class, and First Class, those are the basic building blocks for Boy Scouts. There you learn to be adaptable. You learn to gain skills. Your leaders are someone to be respected and looked up to. And the kids probably will, because all of these guys, all ladies and gentlemen serving in those volunteer positions are volunteers. They do all this effort and expenditure, time and treasure, to help kids learn to prepare for life. The Scout motto is be prepared. And that's what you're doing. You're preparing for life, especially in those first three ranks. You're learning to camp. Well, that doesn't just mean going out with the folks on a weekend. It means you might be going into the wilderness with a backpack. That means you have to know how to take care of yourself, to what to dress, how to dress, how to sleep in the outdoors and not freeze to death, or be too hot, or because they do things in the mountains and they do things in the desert. They do things everywhere. And they learn how to become adaptable. But by being adaptable means that you are skilled and trained and prepared for action. Whatever happens, wherever it happens. Apparently, some of Armstrong's contemporaries, peers in his scout troop, saw him as being something great. They weren't that surprised that he became the first man on the moon. He studied hard. He learned all he could. He was more of a quiet, reserved type fellow. And I think that's true just from my observations of thinking how famous the first man on the moon would be. I mean, it's amazing. And sometimes I think how few people could probably even say who was the first man on the moon. But he was humble. That was another thing. The spiritual, moral side of Boy Scouting is the oath and the law. On my honor, I'll do my best to do my duty to God and country. That's the beginning of the oath. The law. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind. All of those words, they don't just say those words, they have to know what they mean. That's part of the advancement program in Scouts. They have to know what those words mean to them. It gives them time to think about it, ponder on it. It's an overall life's effort following those oath, law, motto. As I said before, is be prepared. The slogan is do a good turn daily. Those are very basic things to follow, and that's the the solid heart of scouting is that part of scouting. All the rest is preparing and training. As I said, the first ranks, you're being taught the basics of all scouting program. The next 3 ranks, Star, Life, and Eagle, they're preparing you on another level, a level of leadership, where you're put into positions of leading boys in the program. And then the merit badge program, there's well over 130 merit badges, and the merit badge deal with vocations and hobbies. It's a wide variety of things, which is terrific. It gives them there's 21 required merit badges for Eagle, and they cover everything from camping to wilderness survival to first aid to number of things. And the great part is, in experiences I've been around it, it gives kids a chance to try out different vocational ideas. It gives them snippets of that and prepares them. But it's the discipline that it develops, the character it develops for them to live life bigger, to be adaptable, to be a person of action. One thing an Eagle Scout has to do is an Eagle Scout project. And that is probably the hardest thing for most scouts to complete, because it's something they have to do personally. They have to be in charge. They have to develop this plan, and they have to go through counselors to know whether they got the right thing, if they're doing the right thing. They have to do something for somebody that's a great effort, and it really puts them in the place of action, that they really have to do something. They can't just get away with doing something partial. It has to be important. It has to be a benefit to somebody. So Neil Armstrong would have been prepared with all that he had learned in the Boy Scouts of America. They had given him all these skills, and it wasn't just that he knew a lot. He just knew a lot about himself, what it took to be successful, how to be successful, how to get there. So he went to college. He became a naval aviator and aviating. Okay, so I'm fumbling here. But aviation had become his engineering area, and gave him enough to be a man of action. And not only the education and a naval aviator, then he became an astronaut. And that whole process, from what I understand, is a very difficult process to become an astronaut. And that was a struggle. And then when they landed on the moon, just before they landed, they had to make a quick decision on maneuvering the craft not to crash. It was not expected. And he was cool under pressure because he knew what that took. He was prepared, and he was prepared because he was adaptable to whatever would happen. And that's what made the difference, I'm sure, and one of the reasons they chose him to be the first man. He had those skills and abilities to do this thing, to accomplish this task and to survive. So, next time you see a Boy Scout around, tell them thank you for their service. They do a lot of things in communities, and that they're making an effort to improve themselves. And support Boy Scouts. You know, you might see them selling popcorn to support their opportunity to go to Scout camp. If you have kids, nowadays the program is totally co-ed. Whole family can be involved, and that's the great part about it. whole family can be involved and have a great time. Camping, exploring. I mean, it's only as small as you make it or as big as you make it. That's the neat part about it. It's adaptable. That's what's great about the program. It's adaptable. It's terrific. You know, it gets you out there, gets you active in life. Make the most of it. Learn to be adaptable, and then you can be a person of action. Isn't that cool? Thank you. I'm Tim Linsdau. Like and comment on my video, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.